It just seems pretty convenient that when Joe Biden's name is in the headlines for collecting millions of dollars from China and Russia and Ukraine, and the entire Biden family might be involved with not paying taxes or reporting themselves as foreign agents, as we just heard Pete Huckster talk about, that suddenly they push Donald Trump back into the spotlight. Or maybe they just want to make sure that he can't run for president in 2024. This is a pretty weak case, to say the least, David. Sum it up for us, would you?
Yeah, let me fill in some details, Steve. The payment, everybody knows about the payment to Stormy Daniels back in 2016. Obviously, it's unseemly and all that sort of thing. But is it illegal? Is it criminal? This has got to be one of the weakest cases I've seen in a long time. And as you said, prior prosecutors and federal prosecutors have all passed on it because it's so weak. But essentially, what they're claiming is that this is falsifying business records because the Trump organization, the attorney for him, paid this money to Stormy Daniels and then theoretically tried to put it down as a business expense. You know, it was a bookkeeping type of violation, that it was hidden as an attorney fee. And so this kind of fraud, if they can prove it, they have to prove a couple things, Steve. They can prove both. It's a felony. It's a 4-year felony. If they can prove, number one, that President Trump ordered this payment and had knowledge of the false entry, not the payment itself, but of the false entry on the books. But secondly, they'd have to prove that President Trump himself falsified those business records with the intent to commit or conceal the actual act that happened. And they had to do it while committing a second crime. Now, nobody has even talked about that.
Well, what second crime? Where is there a second crime? I don't see a first crime.
Exactly. And what they're trying to claim here is that the first crime is some kind of federal election law violation, something like that. But that begs the question, you can't have the second crime be a federal crime. So that's going to fall down for them. The second one would be maybe some kind of intent to defraud the taxpayers of New York by putting this fraudulent tax deduction into his business records. That's what they're claiming the second crime is. And remember, Steve, they have to prove both those things. If they only prove the first thing, it's a misdemeanor. But if they can prove both, it's a 4-year felony. And as you said, all the prior prosecutors have passed on this because there's just nothing there. And
the one thing that they do have, they'll have a dream jury. Obviously, they believe they can stack the jury in New York against Donald Trump. That's what they believe, right?